Once upon a time in France, there lived a very rich and happy man named Jean Ryu. He had a big farm, lots of money, and a beautiful daughter named Barb. She was the best-dressed girl around, with her embroidered cap and 5 petticoats, each shorter than the last. All the young men wanted to marry her, but none more than Jegu, her father's head farmhand. Jegu, however, was rough and quite ugly, and Barbaik not only rejected him, but often made fun of him. Poor Jegu was heartbroken, but couldn't bring himself to leave the farm, because then he'd never see Barbaik at all. One evening, as he was letting his horses drink from a lake, feeling utterly miserable, a voice called out from some nearby gorse. What's the matter? You mustn't despair yet. Surprised, Jegu looked around and asked, "Who was there?" The voice replied, "It is I, the brownie of the lake." Jegu couldn't see anyone, so the voice told him to look closer among the reeds. There he saw a tiny green frog. The frog explained he could take any shape he wanted, even becoming invisible. At Jegu's request, the frog transformed into a little dwarf, all dressed in green. Jegu was a bit scared, but the brownie assured him he meant no harm. He wanted to help Jegu because of a kindness Jegu had shown him months ago. While digging in a field, Jegu had found a robin redbreast caught in a net and set it free. "Well," the brownie said, "I was that robin redbreast. I've vowed to be your friend ever since. And since you want to marry Barbaik, I will help you." Jegu was overjoyed. He'd give anything, he said, except his soul. "Then leave it to me," the brownie promised. "In a few months you'll be master of this farm and of Barbaik." Jegu didn't understand how, but the brownie just told him to eat, sleep, and not worry about a thing. The very next morning, which was a holiday, Barbaik woke up early, eager to get to a dance. She went to the cow house, which was her, but was amazed to find it already clean. The straw was fresh, the hay racks were full, the cows were milked, and the pails stood neatly in a row. It must have been Jegu, she thought, hoping I'd give him a dance. When she met him, she thanked him. Jegu just grumbled that he didn't know what she was talking about, which only convinced her more that it was him. This happened every single day. The cow house was spotless. The cows got fat, and every morning Barbaik found her pots full of milk and freshly churned butter. Soon, she got so used to it that she started sleeping in. Then one day, she came downstairs to find the entire house swept, the furniture polished, the fire lit, and breakfast ready. All she had to do was ring the bell to call the workers. Again, she credited Jegu, and she started to think that a husband who did all the work would be very useful for a girl who loved to sleep in and have fun. It got even better. Barbaik only had to express a wish for it to be granted. If it was too cold or sunny to go out, she'd whisper by the spring, "I wish my churns were full, and my laundry was dry on the hedge, and it would be done." If she was too lazy to bake, she'd murmur, "I wish my 6 loaves were on the shelf," and 2 hours later, there they were. One night, she said aloud, "Why am I not already back from the market with my butter sold and my money in my pocket?" The next morning, at the foot of her bed, were her empty pots, some wild cherries, and 6 new silver coins in her apron. By now, she was convinced all this was Gegu's doing, and she couldn't imagine life without him. Seeing this, the brownie told Jegu it was time to ask Barbaik to marry him. This time, she didn't turn him away. He was still ugly and awkward in her eyes, but she saw the benefits. She could sleep in every morning like a lady. She could wear beautiful new dresses and visit her neighbors, making them all jealous. She could dance as much as she wanted while Jegu worked and saved for her. So, she politely told him it was up to her father, knowing full well her father approved of Jegu. The wedding took place the next month. Just a few days later, her father died suddenly. Now Jegu was in charge of everything, and it was much harder than he expected. But the brownie stepped in again, working better than 10 men. He plowed, sowed, and reaped.
If work needed to be done quickly, he'd call his dwarf friends, and a whole army of them would work through the night, disappearing before anyone woke up. All the brownie ever asked for in return was a bowl of broth. But from the day of her marriage, Barbec noticed with rage that all the helpful magic stopped.
She complained to Jagu about his laziness, but he had no idea what she was talking about. The brownie, who was nearby, burst out laughing.
He confessed that he had done everything for Jagu's sake, but now it was high time Barbec looked after her own house. Barbec was furious. Every morning she had to wake up before dawn to milk the cows, and every evening she had to stay up late, churning butter. Her heart filled with rage against the brownie. And when she looked at Jagu, her anger doubled. "If it wasn't for you, you miserable dwarf," she'd mutter, "I'd never have married that man. I'd still be at dances, being told I was the prettiest girl in the parish. Oh, you wretched dwarf, I will never forgive you."
But Barbec knew how to be practical when she needed to be.
When she was invited to a wedding, she swallowed her pride and asked the brownie for a horse. To her delight, he agreed and told her to go to the city of the dwarfs and ask for what she wanted. She went to a green field where the dwarfs were meeting and said, "Listen, my friends. I have come to beg you to lend me a black horse with eyes, a mouth, ears, a bridle, and a saddle." A horse appeared instantly, and she rode off. At first, she was thrilled to have a day off from her chores. But soon, she noticed people on the road were laughing at her.
Then she heard someone say,
"Why? The farmer's wife has sold her horse's tail." She turned around and saw it was true. Her horse had no tail. She had forgotten to ask for one, and the mischievous dwarfs had given her exactly what she requested. To make matters worse, the horse would only walk, so she had to endure the jokes all the way there.
She returned home more furious than ever, determined to get her revenge. Her chance came soon.
It was spring, the time for the dwarfs' annual festival. The brownie asked Goo if he and his friends could have a supper and dance in the barn. Jagu was happy to oblige and told Barbec to prepare the barn with her best tablecloths and make lots of little loaves and pancakes. He expected her to refuse, but she quietly agreed and prepared everything.
That night, the dwarfs, all in new green suits, bustled into the barn, merry and happy.
But as soon as they sat down, they all jumped up with a cry and ran away, screaming.
Barbec had placed pans of hot coals under their feet, and their poor little toes were burnt. "You won't forget that in a hurry," she smiled grimly. But the dwarfs returned with pots of water, put out the fire, and then danced around it.
Singing a curse, "Wicked traitress, Barbrio, our poor toes are burned by you. Now we hurry from your whole bad luck light upon you all." That evening, the brownie and all the dwarfs left the country for good. Without their help, Jagu grew poorer and poorer. The farm failed, and he eventually died of As for Barbec, she lost everything and had to find work in the market just to survive. A harsh lesson about gratitude and looking beyond appearances. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories. See you next time!